And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast of Sports. This is your host, Jay Pops. Please, guys, continue to follow me on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast of Sports. Also on YouTube with hashtag Homemade Podcast of Sports. Also on Twitter at JPops and on Instagram at JPops. To my Aggie fans, guys, where you at? Where you at? First of all, before I get started, did you guys see the uniforms? Did you guys see the new Texas A&M Unis uniforms? Old school, but revamped at the same time. Please, guys, tell me your comments below on that because I like them. You know, hell, I like them a whole lot. Like I say, hopefully we can get this season on started, September 26th. Also, you guys can be looking for my players to watch and also recruiting all the way up to the week of September 26th. We're going to get this Aggie content out there. Once again, thank you guys for following me and believing in this podcast, and we're going to keep it running. Please, guys, help me make this thing go viral because at the end of the day, it's all about you guys. You guys help me, and I help you guys with more Aggie content. So, with all due respect, let's keep on going. My players to watch, because this here is the players watch list that I've came up with on my own, of course, and I'm just going to keep on emerging with a couple of players that you guys may know and may not know. So let's go ahead and get to it. For my player to watch on defense, it's going to be DeMarvin Leal, defensive end. We all know him. He was a 5-star freshman, that emerged last year and made a huge impact. Maybe not in the biggest games, but at the same time, he was a freshman, and he's still learning. So he's coming back for his sophomore year, and hopefully, quote unquote, he don't go into the sophomore slump like we've all seen over the past with these college football players. But he should this year make another huge impact on that Mike Elko's defense. I strongly believe that he'll be one of the best D linemen. Like I say, he's only a sophomore, of course. We do have a couple of juniors. I don't believe any seniors, though, but we do have a couple of juniors on the defensive line as well, and we have a ton of freshmen that should be making a rotational push of a strong impact at defensive line all over the board that should be a run-stopping / pass-rushing defense, which is what I'm going to get to. So, DeMarvin Leal, he had 38 total tackles last year, 14 solo, 24 assists with only 2 sacks. That is what DeMarvin Leal will have to work on, for this year. Hopefully he can get that sack count up to maybe, I want to say 8, 9, so he'll make a bigger impact. 2 sacks, of course, hell, we don't know what 2 sacks that came. We don't know what games they came in. It could have just been 2 in one game and that's it. But he's a true run stopper. I strongly believe that he'll be a huge pass rushing personnel and he'll get in there and disrupt that pocket, time in and time out. So, like I say, DeMarvin Leal, he only had 2 sacks. Hopefully he can get that up and improve that. But, in which I strongly believe. But also, he's first-round draft grade, which is similar to who? Myles Garrett. I don't want to say they're similar to one another because Myles Garrett was just all power. But then again, Myles Garrett had all the fundamental techniques as well. And Myles Garrett primarily made a huge impact when it meant the most, So DeMarvin Leal, like I say, he was a 5-star freshman that came in last year. Hopefully he can make a bigger and huge impact in more of the bigger games this year. Hopefully he can get in there and do his thing just like we all Aggie fans believe he will do. So, We're gonna keep on moving along. For offense, and you guys know this man well, Jamon Osborne. Jamon is coming back as a senior. He's a senior wide receiver, and he should be leading the whole group of wide receivers. Now Jamon Osborne is tricky. One, because we all believe he should have been way better last year, but due to injury and Mon really not having time and overthrowing him on a lot of throws, he didn't really contribute as well, or contribute like he could have. He only had about 66 receptions for 872 yards and 5 touchdowns. But he had a 13.2 yard average, which is huge. And that is by far pretty hard to come by in the SEC, only with the likes of LSU last year and Alabama for the receivers that they continue to bring in and bring out. But like I say, nonetheless, he was one of those guys that was at about 13.2. Hell, if you got 7 or 8, you're damn good. But 13.2, he by far mustered that by a long shot. So we all know that Osborne catch the ball. I believe that he was injured a little bit last year as well. So that's another reason why he didn't just really contribute all the way. He wasn't badly injured as he was the year before last, though. But he was pretty banged up last year. But he had, like I say, 66 receptions, 872 yards, 5 touchdowns, 13.2 average. He only has 8 touchdowns in his career, though. He only has 8. That right there alone, in my opinion, should piss him off. That should piss him off enough to where he comes back this senior year to be a threat to everyone's backfield. Period. True enough, it will still be Kellen Mond throwing in the ball, and hopefully Kellen has enough time and he don't overthrow him. But later on in the podcast, I'll get to a couple of guys to watch on that offensive line that should be able to help him out. Should be. But like I said, that should be enough to piss him off. Also, they have Jamon as a 6th round draft grade. 6. You want to know who else they had as a 6th round draft grade? Joe Burrow. Need I say more, Aggie fans? Not saying that he's going to be a Joe Burrow by all means, because we keep on using him as an example. But what I'm saying is that should be enough to piss him off going forward for the season and say, hey, you guys forgot about me. I'm back. So, like I say, those 2 guys to watch, DeMarvin Lee Allen, Jamon Osborne. Also, if you guys didn't know, Jamon Osborne came in with, of course, Kellen Mond. Both of those guys are from Texas now. And were top-rated 4-star recruits. DeMarvin Lee Allen was a 5-star recruit freshman that came in last year. The chemistry that both of these guys should have on both sides of the ball should be pretty dynamic. Once again, this is the Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is your host, J Pops. Please, guys, follow me on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Also on YouTube at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. On Instagram at J Pops, and also on Twitter at J Pops. To my Aggie family, love you guys. Hashtag Giggle. Thank you guys for tuning in, and please follow hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports on Facebook, also on YouTube at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports, on my Twitter at JPops, and also on Instagram at JPops. Hashtag Giggle.